Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of our nameless podcast and shameless podcast. Ha! Yeah. It's Andrew and Brendan here as per usual, and we've got a load to do. So over the course of the next while, whether you're watching or listening to this, we'll kind of take a brief look at stories that caught our eye this week, and we'll have a look and see what the crack is for the weekend. Any plans for the weekend, by the way?
What am I doing tonight? I've training tonight, rugby,
Ruggers.
And then tomorrow I'm going to be done in the Sneem Hotel. Going to be emceeing the lip sync for Sneem National School and Daniel National School as well, so that's going to be a bit of crack. And then I would love to stay down in Sneem tomorrow night, but I have to go back up to Killarney because Sunday, going up to Clare again, we're playing against Scariff for the second week running. In Scariff for the second week running. We beat them in the Cup last week. Came back from 17-0 down at half-time. Don't know how it happened. So they're going to be well up for this game because, they'll be kicking themselves they didn't win. So we're playing them in the league this Sunday in Scariff. And then watching American football Sunday night. That is my Sunday thing during the winter.
Dare I ask, is there points then will be had after the rugby?
I've been very good this year, actually, because it used to be a thing. It'd be like, we're after losing, we'll have a pint. Or, Jesus, what a win.
We'll have a pint.
God, I can't believe we drew. Let's discuss it over a pint. Whereas this year, I've just kind of stuck to my body, and the Mondays have been a lot more approachable this season because of my waddies. So, if my waddy want to sponsor...
Let's start with what does Brendan want for free
because
this week?
I honestly, if Murphy's haven't sponsored me at this point, I'm just going to give up because I'm the only man who talks about Murphy's and drinks Murphy's on a regular basis, and they haven't approached me yet. So my waddy,
it's coming.
Look out!
It's coming.
And speaking of sponsorship that I shamelessly tried to get, this week I'm wearing.
What are you wearing this week, Brendan? Who are you wearing this week, Brendan?
Well, I'm wearing the staple of every outfit that I have, and they're my prized possession. It's the Paul Galvin socks from Dunn's. Honestly, they're the nicest, comfiest socks, and I have about 4 different pairs of these, and you can't get them anymore because it's onto a different trend or fashion season that he does. I don't know. Not a fashion guy. I've Lacoste shoes on. I think these are called Reverend jeans. Reverend. Jeans.
Reverend. I have no idea. Reverend.
I got them on sale in Brian James. Thanks, guys. And then, shameless, we need sponsorship. And then this is another Paul Galvin classic, which has a nice fit to it. So I don't know what the line was. I think it might have been Bogman. Bogman. I've never seen... I didn't wear this to the bog last year because it's too nice. But there you are, Paul Galvin.
It's a nice zip-up, I'll give you that.
Sponsor this podcast, vidcast, please.
Paul, if you're watching...
Or sponsor my life, I don't mind.
He's mad to get togged out.
Yeah.
And
my boxers, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We'll do that next week.
Speaking of which, shout out to the Brand Geeks. They sent me this reusable coffee mug. One of us is quite bitter about it. I'm not. And Christmas jumpers, but we'll show you them on Christmas Jumper Day. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as well if we get time.
Just don't even mention... those lads from
way. Can I just come back to something quickly though before we start? We still don't have a name for this podcast, and David, our web guy, put up the audio. If you're listening to this, obviously you'll have seen it's just called The Chats because we didn't know what else to call it. So
it's such a bad name.
Yeah, sure. Well, we had nothing else to call it, so we really should have kind of talk this through first, but people have been suggesting names since last week.
Yeah, I've compiled the 14 name suggestions.
14?
The good, the bad, and the very ugly. So the first one from Caroline Fitzgerald, who is a top fan of Radio Kerry on Facebook. Thank you, Caroline. This is actually a really good start. Brew. So,
okay.
B for Brendan and Rue, last part of Andrew's name.
Having a brew.
We're having a brew. Jesus.
Compliments of the Brand Geeks who sent me a reusable.
She also mentioned. Don't mention them. She also suggested Andon.
Okay.
And which is the first bit of your name and last bit of my name.
I got it. Thanks.
I know. Sorry, but she put it in brackets, so I might as well.
Yeah.
She went through the hassle of typing on the phone.
Okay.
Next one, Assumpta Nolan said the Friday night catch up with Andrew and Brendan.
Okay. Yeah.
We do post this on a Friday night, although we're at home drinking pints of my waddy.
You'll be playing rugby tonight.
Yeah,
I'll be playing football
rugby,
tonight.
Yeah. Next one, Teresa Clifford, Friday night with the Corner Boys.
Yeah, we are in the corner of our room here. Yeah,
And
yeah.
the boys. So yeah, the Corner Boys. Okay.
Okay.
The next one, Noreen Sheehy Brosnan, the Kerry Catch-Up. And also added, it's a great idea. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Caught Gallagher Friday night. All kinds of everything.
Which it will be and is. Yeah.
It totally is. Yeah. We literally don't know what the other person's going to talk about. And we just kind of roll with it. Padraig Harnett then of Radio Kerry Report.
Hey, Padraig, yeah. Hey, Padraig.
Views from the boys in the corner as opposed to Corner Boys. Okay. Gareth Boyne, the ABC show, the Andrew Brendan Chat Show.
Oh, I like that.
Class?
I do
really
like that.
Good. Okay, that might be up there with the first one from Caroline. Kay O'Connell, Ant and Brett.
I like that. Although
although neither is our actual name, but I like where you're going.
There may be copyright over that, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. We beat them in a fight, though, I think.
Yeah, totally beat them in a fight.
Liz Swanser says, the Likely Lads.
Okay.
Kind of like the usual suspects. I like that
Likely
one.
Lads, yeah.
Then Damien Ahern says, not the Late Late Show.
I like that.
Which is
I like that.
You see, at first I'm very insecure, so I thought, oh yeah, well obviously it's not the Late Late Show. Sure, look at the budget that RT have. We can't get the guests in on a Friday morning. But he was saying, as in, it's not on that late.
Yeah, no, I get it. And plus, when something is written down in text, like if someone sends,
it's like when
someone sends you a text or an email in all capitals, you just assume that they're screaming at you.
Exactly, yeah. Caroline Carden, Boys Talk, which I like, but I don't like in 2019. It's very exclusive for our female viewers.
Yeah, which I think we primarily have, actually.
And it's not just boys talk, actually. Yeah, we talk
It's true,
about everything.
we talk about everything. That's true.
Orla Monks, then. Cahill's mom. Hello, Cahill's mom.
Hi, Cahill's mom.
The Beardy Dudes.
That's true. Now, if you see me with a beard, you did. If you see me with a beard, it's more than likely laziness. To be fair, I mean, look at the state of my hair. I need to get a haircut anyway, but if I have a beard, it's more than likely laziness. But I like the idea.
I've been asked like 5 times, are you doing Movember? Yeah, I'm like, no,
I'm just lazy.
Just pure lazy, yeah. And then the last one from Patrick Fitzgerald with 2 exclamation points at the end. Bull.
I like it, because that's what it is, a lot of it as well, to be fair.
It kind of hits it on the head.
You just thought, what about the bold corner, seeing as we're sitting in the corner, you know?
The bold corner. Okay, well, yeah, there's a couple of favourites in there for me, but we'll see what people suggest.
Come back with something else.
Like.
Yeah, look.
You can't put a poll of like 14 things, can you?
No.
I don't think so.
Maybe, yeah.
So just comment whatever one you like the best.
If you liked one of those, or you think of a better one yourself, comment away and absolutely let us know. Because, and like, you know, jokes aside, we genuinely have no idea what to call this. So, send them on away, all right? Yeah. So, what's caught your eye this week? What's been happening? What's going on?
Well, a story this morning. Edward Norton, star of Fight Club, American History X, 2 of my favourite films. He's a class actor, but I would highly recommend it.
Film, yeah.
It's a bit of a rough watch, but it's a brilliant movie. Like,
okay, I've been told that numerous times.
Yeah, and he's a class actor, but apparently a nightmare to work with because he's real hands-on in the editing room and he wants his own.
He's a perfectionist.
Yeah, and sounds like a bit of an arrogant fella. But he has come out and said that he saved Leonardo DiCaprio's life.
Okay, go on.
So that's
you have
points forever.
Intrigued me.
So this happened when they were on a diving trip. They visited the Galapagos Islands. And Leo was going, so he dived in to chase a large group of stingrays in the ocean. Not a great idea to start with. And then Norton, he's going to be on, I think, the Jonathan Ross show tonight, is that when it's on. So he said that he knew his friend didn't have enough oxygen on him, so he followed him in, and then he followed him, and basically they had to share and go back up and resurface. So he's saying that he saved Leonardo DiCaprio.
I actually think I read this before. He's an actual diver, isn't he? Or he's an experienced diver, I think.
Well, I am a certified PADI scuba diver, I'll have you know. Okay. I did a course when I was in Lanzarote, like years. Or no, not Portugal, in the Algarve. A few years ago.
Hang on a second now. Explain to me what exactly this is, because if this is what my experience of scuba diving is, then you're a joke, because I'm definitely a joke. Yeah,
it was a PADI scuba diving course. It was in Lanzarote, so
is this exclusively for Irish people or something? Why is it called PADI?
It's PADI. I have a license somewhere, and apparently it's a lifetime license. I did it when I was like 16, maybe. Terrifying experience.
Had you drink on board?
No, I was I was 16.
I'm just saying, like, just don't do that, like.
So, no. I mean, being underwater is terrifying enough, and then you're dealing with your own oxygen levels, and your buoyancy is a big part of it. So you have to kind of almost like, you know, when you're driving, you're using the gas and the clutch. And
the gas, Jesus Christ, where are you from?
I don't know. American Killarney, apparently. I say gas now.
Jesus Christ.
You're using the acceleration and the clutch. And when you're in water, you have to deal with your own oxygen, right? You just breathe away normally. But then you have this buoyancy valve. So you let air out so that you can stay at a nice level and swim directly, or else you bring air in and then that brings you up. So I had a terrifying experience where I did it with my brother, and he just started floating like a balloon. If you go up too fast, the pressure changes, and then you get the bends, which is where air gets into the bloodstream, and
that's why people go into those tanks when they come out of the water.
Exactly, it like just terrifying stuff. You're after being debriefed for about 2 hours in a room. They're like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. What happens? You'll probably die. Da 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 da. And then Pat started going up like a balloon. I caught him by his toe or his fin, and pulled him down like that. And it honestly, while it was amazing to learn it and do everything else, just never again, because it's too scary. There's too many things that will kill you, or else you just won't be able to handle yourself. You'll
saved your brother's life.
I saved my brother's life, actually.
Well, as you were saying it, and I was thinking about where you were going to go with this, as in, you know, had I ever saved somebody's life? I don't know if I directly saved somebody's life. I've stopped nieces and nephews, and I think maybe even my brother, from pouring like a boiling hot water, a boiling kettle over them, that kind of thing. Or
that happened to me.
I know. I was just going to say it because I know that happened to you when you were a child.
Whenever someone mentions a kettle or I'm near
you feel it.
A boiling kettle,
yeah, I remember
a little bit like Harry Potter. I feel.
I remember my nephew went up to the cooker, all right, and of course, like kids will be kids, they want to press and do everything. Like he had just been pressing all of the buttons on the washing machine, and he was getting close to the cooker, and we had a gas cooker on top, and he literally was just the hand was about to touch the ring where the flame was on, like. And I just remember grabbing him. Now, that's not saving his life, but at the same time, you can imagine I mean, you got a burn from pulling a kettle down on yourself.
So I can't remember it or anything. So, but
I'm sure they
I've
tell
the
you about
scars there now. And my granddad was when he was like 16. He was out hunting, typical North Kerry upbringing. You know, he was out hunting, and he said, "You know what? I'll get an apple there from that garden, that orchard." So he hopped over the wall, got the apple, hopped on the wall. He had his shotgun with him, of course. So he threw that in the ground first, landed on the arse of the gun, bang, fired up at him, hit him in the arm directly there. He had all loads of, you know, the little pellets, like kind of the shrapnel from the shotgun shell,
Christ.
like all across here. So if you think about it, it was about 2 inches away from being fatal, like. So he had this huge scar, and it's in the exact same spot as my scar from
That's
the
weird.
kettle. Really weird. There's a photo at home of the two of us holding out our arms. His is a way cooler story, other than me just going, I was an idiot. I pulled a kettle on myself.
But you were one, to be fair.
I was one. Yeah, I was learning.
We'll let you away with that one.
But yeah, like amazing. So yeah, thank God he was a bad shot, because you know.
Which I'm sure he said.
I wouldn't be here. Yeah. But he's since passed. But he did say that. There was an X-ray that he got, and you could see all the pellets that were still there, like, you know, small little pieces of the metal from the shell. And he said it was the cure for cancer, for everything, because he was rarely sick in his life.
Because he had all this stuff in his body.
Yeah, but I just can't imagine it being, you know, brought in as a national health screening process where you stand the other end of the room and somebody fires a shot.
I don't.
Hold your arm out, please.
Somehow don't think Simon Harris is going to be announcing that in the next meeting in the Dáil. That's interesting. And actually, the funny thing is that Edward Norton now, only because he's Edward Norton, but like that would be a great story to tell at a party anyway. The fact that it's Leonardo DiCaprio is even better.
He might win himself Best Supporting Actor.
Anyway, Gap. Christmas. It's around the corner.
Yeah, it is.
How long are you going out with Eve?
9 years.
9 years, and Una and I are going out now. Christ, 7 and a bit. Well, this is for both of us, and anybody watching who is terrible at getting your partner a gift, right? this was in the paper just this morning. Couples struggle to get the right Christmas present, and on this list featured as some of the worst are a shoehorn, you know, the yoke to help get your shoe on or off.
Really handy. I'd actually love one of those, Eve.
A tin opener, right? Imagine going, Happy Christmas, love. And the best one is a toilet seat.
Ah, lads.
Could you imagine going up to your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, partner, or whatever, and saying, Here, I got you a toilet seat. Especially if it's one of those warm, kind of soft, leathery ones. Imagine how dirty they are. Yeah, so that's on the list. I'll give you the full list, right? Worst gifts received by couples. And those aren't even the worst, by the way. Dish drainer, windscreen wipers, a box of tea bags, although that's not a bad one depending on your tea disposition.
That is horrendous because it's like €3.
Yeah.
I bought a box of, I think, 80 tea bags. And it was like $2.50.
It gets better, / worse.
Okay.
Bag of rice, nail clippers. What are you trying to tell the person there? An air freshener, because you smell clearly. Toilet seat, a hoover.
Jesus.
Shoehorn, and the number one worst gift that a couple have gotten each other, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to be a little bit sexist and assume that this was a man getting a woman this, was a mop. That's on the list of the worst thing ever.
Right,
so
okay.
comment here or email us if you'd like your worst ever, doesn't have to be a Christmas gift, worst ever gift that you were given.
I like all terrible ideas, but thank God you read that out loud because Eve has been giving out to me because we had a mop and a bucket, right? And it was one of these kind of plasticky, flowery, pretty design on the thing. So one day I was mopping, probably the last time I mopped and first time I mopped. So I was like, yeah, I'll do this. And when I was rinsing it out, I cracked the bucket thing, you know, the strainer.
Yes, yeah.
And
because you're so strong.
Absolutely, because I'm very strong. Like
you go to the gym.
I play rugby, very, very strong. And I broke the strainer thing, and she has been asking me to get her a mop ever since.
And tell me this much.
And I don't know what I'm getting her for Christmas.
When you broke the strainer, did the bucket tip over and water go everywhere?
No, I don't think so.
Because I've done that.
It just went straight down.
I also have to excuse you as well, because to be fair now,
shitty plasticky bucket
I
things.
broke one of those because they're shitty cheap plastic that you get in the €2 shop. So to be fair, it's
you
very
need
easy to break
one,
those.
like, yeah.
You don't even have to be the strongest guy in the world. And it's very easy to break those yolks.
Very easy.
Mopping the number one. And then just for
but a
for
hoover,
balance.
if you were going to get a really expensive one, do you know the Dyson one that your man is bragging about in every single ad?
James Dyson, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, and if you bought someone that, like that's top of the range kind of stuff. Like it's very expensive.
Yeah, it is.
And
I think
again,
by the way, they're too expensive.
Eve has always said, I would like one of those. So imagine if I got her the mop she's always been on to me about, and the hoover that she's at. Well,
I suppose from that perspective, if it's something that they genuinely really want,
it's a risk. It is a risk. Will I be willing to take it? 9 years in.
But I have to say, those Dysons or whatever they are, because it's not just them, I find that the most expensive hoovers that are there are shite.
Yeah.
My mother spent about €400 on one, and I was like, "Are you mad on a hoover?" Like, there's a yoke below here. I don't know what brand it is below in our utilities
Sounds
cupboard
like a
below.
jet engine, yeah.
Yeah,
Class.
and lads, it's here since I'm here in Radio Kerry nearly 12 years. You're here what, 8 years? 7 years?
6 years, yeah.
6 years. Well, you know, it's been
so
here
much
much longer than us,
Yeah.
and this hoover's still going, and it's absolutely perfect. And the carpet we're currently standing on, is immaculate because it was in the Hoover 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Fair play, Bernie.
And I don't know how much that Hoover cost, but the point is that it's not one of those big fancy Dyson yokes.
Which I have come across and seen that, my God, they're so finicky, impossible to clean.
Yeah.
Seem to break and not work as well as they do in the first day.
They're also far too easy to take apart and then not know how to put it back together again. Yeah, so it's safe to
don't
say
know.
that Dyson won't be sponsoring this podcast anytime soon anyway. Right, what do we got next? And just sorry for balance, best gifts received then were things like, the obvious things like earrings, diamonds, socks and underwear, a new watch.
Do you see that meme that's going around every year? People share this and they're hang in there, lads. Few more weeks till Christmas, and it's a photo of like boxers with holes.
I get tagged in that quite a bit by my brothers and my sister. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, what do we got next? Where are we going to next?
Coldplay are not going to be touring their new album nor touring full stop until they can do it in a way that's carbon neutral and friendly to the environment. Fair play to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people, I'm sure, now will hear that news and go, "Oh, dopes," and then others will go, "Fair play."
Yeah.
Coldplay.
Fair play. They started out with yellow. Now they're gone green.
That's That's copywritten Brendan Footer 2019.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
I have to say, went to see them last year in Croke Park, and honest to God...
Oh, yeah, you were there, yeah.
Best gig I have ever been to.
Yeah,
and you mentioned Yellow. Now, I don't know, was this on purpose with the timing of the set? I assume not, but coincidentally, as they started to sing Yellow, right? So these yellow lights kind of come up. Anyone who's there would have known it. Would come up all around Croke Park, right? And it plays just as the sun was going down in the background. Well, okay, to be fair, it's probably more of an orange, but an orangey yellow hue was coming across Croke Park from the sun going down. As these yellow lights came on and they started banging it was amazing. But I have to say, best gig I've ever been to, hands down. And that's, I mean, I loved it.
And the sound was meant to be good in Croke Park as well for once, and it was because they put in extra speakers like all around.
The whole right, yeah. Because what happens is, you're right, and just if you've ever,
around everywhere,
that's a good point. If you've ever been to a gig in Croke Park and you thought, just God, the sound was shit. Because what happens is, right, so let's say whoever it is on the stage there, you're dead right. There's speakers all around them and there, but if you're at the opposite end of Croke Park, it's just bouncing and carrying around and kind of echoing almost. So it can be cat, but you're dead right. And the Aviva, by the way, is very guilty of that.
Yeah, the lights can be crap as well because it's always a summer gig outdoors. Still bright. Lights are flashing, going 90.
They're doing nothing.
Doing nothing at all. I was at Red Hot Chili Peppers, like, fan all my life, and then got to see them, and I was just completely disappointed. It was crap. But I want to see them in the Three Arena. Yeah, like, great songs, whatever, but they kind of phoned it in, and it was in the summertime in Croke Park. Sound was crap, lights were crap. It was just gack. But I want to see them in Three Arena. It was too close to Christmas, so I said, I'll sell these tickets, sold them at face value, don't worry. And then, that weekend, the night before it, your man came down with the flu, Anthony Kiedis. So,
remember that?
Yeah, it got cancelled. I saved like about €500 between the tickets and the hotel alone, because, it was mental prices for around the gig, and it was on the weekend. And the next time I saw, I was going to go to C-Sessions this summer.
Yes.
Main reason because Eve and myself were massive fans of Sigrid, and she was the Friday night main
I see where this is going, yeah.
Sold the tickets because, again, let's go on a summer holiday instead. Sold the tickets that Friday, the day of it. Sigrid pulled a sickie, wasn't there on that night. We'd have travelled all the way up to Donegal and found out on the day that she had cancelled. So whenever I sell tickets, I'll just post it, everyone share it, it's public announcement, it will be cancelled.
I remember the uproar over that because people like that landed expecting to see her, she's sick, she can't perform, and it was the day after she was supporting the Coronas in Cork, so at least you knew ahead of time. Do you know the Coronas then drafted in as an old favourite was Gavin James, So like, I know not everyone's a fan of Gavin James or the Coronas for that matter, or Sigrid or whoever, but if you are a Gavin James fan, I mean, you're there watching the Coronas and you find out an hour beforehand, oh, by the way, Gavin James is now the support act. That's a pretty cool one in fairness.
Savage, I'd love to see Sigrid.
I love playing in Cork. Gavin
he
James
is a gas man. Great man for a Jaeger bomb as well.
I heard this.
Great night with him back in the day.
I was just going to say,
he was big, I was with him before he was cool.
Well, one of his first nights where he did support the Coronas in the INEC, I was DJing in the Grand. I'd gone to the Coronas gig and then went into work in the Grand. And I met Cahill the same night. I probably met you as around the place.
Yeah, that was
on the same night. But the next thing, whatever I was inside the DJ box, I looked and goes, "Jeez, man's head off Gavin James." It was Gavin James, just wandering.
He's a giant.
He was just wandering through the dance floor, squeezing through people, kind of like point in hand. And I was like, "Oh my God, he's Gavin James." And met him afterwards, and seemed like a lovely guy. You've had him in here, I know as well. But
yeah, he's gas.
Seemed like a lovely fella. How do we get onto that? Oh, Coldplay, of course.
Coldplay, because of course Coldplay led to Red Hot Chili Peppers and Sigrid
and all of that, and on and so forth.
It's a really rigidly planned and structured vidcast.
Yeah.
Which is a new phrase. I'd never heard of a vidcast in my life.
I typed in vidcast last week and somebody said to me, "Oh, what's that?" I was like, "Is that not a thing?" I thought vidcast was a thing, so...
I don't know.
Video broadcast.
It is now.
It is now anyway, so yeah. It's funny though because now that you mentioned about sustainability and concerts being a little bit more environmentally friendly, whatever, there's more and more of these laser shows popping up. I heard the Whitney Houston one is coming.
Oh, like the holograph.
Yeah, so it's a laser hologram on stage. Yeah. They did one in Coachella with Tupac, and they did one with Michael Jackson. And apparently they're really creepy because they're really lifelike, but you know it's weird. Yeah. So there's one plan for Whitney Houston, and there's one plan for Prince. So that's like the new thing. Can you imagine queuing up at Ticketmaster or wherever it is, and the next thing you're spending 150 quid on a ticket to go see a hologram? Like that's the thing. Like, not my cup of tea,
I've seen them I've seen them. I saw Tupac. I think that was one of the first ones they did at some award ceremony.
Yeah,
and
it was Coachella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was it. Like class, but then you also think like the morals of that. It's really weird.
It's weird.
If he,
yeah.
like like with Whitney Houston with Prince, like would you not just kind of let them rest in peace? Quite
Plus,
literally.
they've recently died, whereas he's at least the mid-90s. Not that that's an excuse, but
yeah, but
it's
I
too
don't
raw
know,
or something.
I don't know. It's a really iffy one, but I imagine that they're gonna keep selling and they will keep getting better with the technology. So it's just going to be the new thing to look out for. But the cost of fucking concerts these days.
Yeah.
Diana Ross, 125 or something like that.
Yeah, there's
for the cheapest, like.
Yeah, there's 2 lots of tickets.
And what age is she now? Like, sorry, but she isn't like Diana chicken. Ross and the Supremes kind of.
As she was,
form,
yeah. It's 125 and 142, I think.
Jesus Christ.
A buddy of mine got 2 tickets for the Killers this morning.
Oh, savage.
For 145 for both. I mean, not each, like. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But
Malahide Castle as well. Sam Fender's support as well. So
and they've added a second date. Just about half an hour before we came down here to record this. Yeah, they've added a second date. To be honest, though, I don't care if it's Diana Ross, if it's Bruce Springsteen, if it's the Killers, if it's whoever. I personally couldn't justify spending 140 quid on one ticket.
Yeah. Do you know what?
You can call me a cheap ass, but I'm sorry. That's
the same,
too
right?
much, like.
But if it was the boss, Bruce Springsteen, I'd have to, because the last few times he's been around Ireland, I'm like, definitely going, because my parents have gone, my brother's gone. Every time they see him, they just come back and they tell stories, and he did this, he brought this girl up on stage, sang Waiting on a Sunny Day, and I'm like, this sounds incredible, definitely next time. And every time there's something on or I just can't fit it in.
But he always does a good show, though.
He's 70 now, so the next time he's back, you're imagining that, like,
it's not going to be many more.
Well, I'd say it's going to be his last, like, top shelf class performance
Fair
for
enough.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he's going into mid to late 70s, like, you can't keep it going, like, for 3.5 hours. At top level.
My brother-in-law, Padraig, has been to see him in Hyde Park, and I think he went to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Was he in Thomond Park? He was either in Thomond Park or Nolan Park in Kilkenny as well. One or the other. Anyway,
Park, definitely.
He's been to see him a couple of times, and he said it's just an unforgettable. Now he's a fan, granted, anyway, but it's just an unforgettable night. Like, and I think even if you're not a Bruce Springsteen fan, or you kind of I like a couple of songs, I get the impression from listening to people you would just love the show because of what you just said. Rocking out for 3 hours, just class, like.
It looks unreal, yeah. And the last one of the times, I think it might have been Croke Park gig or something, but when Mom and Dad went to see him on one of the many times, the week before in Hyde Park, they plugged out the sound, like, because you're only allowed to perform until such a time, and they were rocking out mid song. They plugged out, like, so. System gone, like London plugged them out. So the week after then in Ireland comes out onto the stage, and they had a whole kind of a sketch almost where an English policeman came out and tried to stop them from playing or whatever, and then they kicked him off and kept playing. Class, like, just a bit of crack.
Yeah,
the whole thing is just unreal, so I'm definitely going there next time.
Yeah, well,
you better come back.
Bruce Springsteen, he's our big recommendation. I'm a celeb.
He's going to be big.
You've been watching I'm a Celeb.
I have.
We have to talk about it because I've said this last week and I've said this on the radio. It's my favourite reality show. I just love it. It's addictive viewing every night. And I know not everybody's into it. Not everyone wants to sit down and watch somebody eating maggots or turkey balls.
It's pure. It's shite TV at its best. Like,
but it's the best of the shite TV, if that makes sense. Andrew Maxwell is getting on great, but another Andrew, Andy, the guy from
Coronation Street.
Cork from Coronation Street. He went in yesterday. He just looking at it this morning is now the bookie's favourite to win it. He was very funny to watch. You see last night? He was funny to watch because not only is he obviously a celebrity, if you like, but he's a fan, and he was quite clear. He was a little bit like, oh my God, can't believe this is actually happening, but in the best way. He's very like his character, and he is, many people now, including the bookies, tipping him to be the favourite. I'll give you the top few, actually. So Andy Wymant, the Kirk, he's 9-4 favourite. Roman Kemp, the Capital Breakfast DJ, is second. Jacqueline Jossa is third. Caitlyn Jenner is fourth. Ian Wright is fifth. And Kate Garraway is sixth. Those are the bookies' favourites.
I'd immediately cross off Caitlyn Jenner and Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Because Ian Wright, like I mentioned last week, if it was 10 years ago, I reckon he would have won it, but now he's lived a life too comfortable, and he's getting grumpy.
I told you he'd get cranky. I told you somebody would piss him off, and it's not so much someone's pissing him off. He's hungry, so he's hangry.
Like, I mean, the thing is, little outbursts. They've just been weird timing, and just playing it just a bit off kilter. Do you know what I mean? Like, so he's just not getting on well there. He's not going to win it. Caitlyn Jenner, I don't think is going to win it either. Seems to be quite bitchy and a bit annoying. And what are you doing? You're just ignoring me.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
Jesus, he always does this. Like,
I was listening to you. I was just checking how we're at for time.
That's fine. And who else is there? Roman Kemp annoys me, but will do very well. Could win it. Jacqueline Jossa, really can't stand her. Really mopey moany, and did very suspiciously well in the challenge that she was terrified in. She's a trained actress.
Oh, is she playing a game?
Cynical. I think she is.
Interesting.
And
I never looked at that way.
If you see the way that others interact with her, it sounds to me and looks to me like she's driving them all simple because she's so moany and mopey, and she was the first there to put up her hand to not go to the other camp.
Yeah.
What the hell? You're in it like as a team. Everybody's up for everything technically. Then Nadine joined her and said, I'm not going to go
I'm not going over there, Fleur.
So I just can't see her doing too well if she keeps up that kind of selfishness.
Yeah, well, if
she
she's
redeems
annoying
herself
people as
when
well.
she's in challenges, and she's in one now tonight. And
I didn't think of that one.
Garraway, bit of a hero.
I love her.
I would love her to win it. I think that she is my own favourite to go all the way.
I agree. I said to you last week, I think Ian Wright could win it, but he will get annoyed because he'll be hungry and he'll be cranky.
Yeah,
but she's lovely. She's the real mom. And remember, we watch this on Virgin Media in Ireland, but what we need to remember is that she's a television presenter on ITV, and she's what
does she present?
She does Good Morning Britain with Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
So she's got a following. She's got she is popular, and I think people who watch I'm a Celeb probably watch that show, maybe. Yeah. So I think she's in with a shout there because she's lovely. She's just great crack as well. And to be fair, she's clearly terrified of some of the stuff. Mm-hmm. But she's not giving out. She's not moaning. No, it's what we see as well. It's what's edited for us to see it. But I like her. I think she's good crack. But I still think she has a huge chance. I'm liking Andrew Maxwell. He strikes me as the type of guy who, as it goes further on, we'll like him more because I'd say he'd be the type of guy who won't take shite. Yeah. It seems like it already that he had a bit of a falling out with Ian Wright. Himself and Jacqueline didn't really seem to get fully on either, but I'd say he's also kind of the type of guy who's kind of going, come here. Everyone. But that's what I'm saying. He's the type of guy, though, who I'd say will just sit up and go, come here, I'm not taking this. Yeah. Go away from me.
And he seems to be quite level-headed, and when Jacqueline, again, was being mopey and moany and said like, oh,
you've been thinking against her, man.
I do. I can't stand her, and she's going to just keep on going all the way to the final. I think she'll actually win it. But she was saying like, oh, don't tell me that I've got to do it and, puts more pressure. And Andrew was like, are you talking about me saying that? And she's like, yeah. He's like, I'm sorry, I won't say that in the future. Because I thought he was just going to go through the roof and, make an idiot out of himself. Yeah. But I just watch her now, right? Because I've said it to a few people and they've been like, I didn't
think of it that way now, to be fair.
Nobody has noticed it because she just, I don't know, I'm just so sceptical of her. And I'd probably be proven wrong. She'd probably win it and she'd be very deserving. But just watch it with a different view from now on. I just think that she's playing it very cleverly.
Playing a game. All right, we're going to have to wrap there because we have a few more bits to get through, but we are well out of time.
Well, we'll give a one-word answer. What else do you have for me?
It was plans for the weekend, and then it was... I was going to talk about Christmas Jumper Day, but we'll share different stuff about Christmas Jumper Day because there's a few bits that we need to get through and we probably need a bit longer because we are flat out at the times and all of that. So have a great weekend. Please do comment here if you have any comments for us on anything we said or any names for the possible idea for the podcast or possible name for the idea for the podcast. And of course you can give out to either of us as well if you don't agree with anything we said.
Speaking of giving out, Brand Geeks, I don't even need a cup because I'd rather be having a pint of my waddy. My waddy, get in contact in the comments below. Paul Galvin, also get in touch.
We need a sponsorship with all of the plugs.
Yes, and I definitely won't be back next week because my rate is going up and up. It's kind of exponentially.
Actually, next week we might be taking this video on the road because of where Brendan is going to be broadcasting his afternoon show from. Mm-hmm. I haven't asked his permission yet, or our sales staff permission yet, or our boss permission yet. But it involves food of the highest order. I'm a huge fan of Denjo's. Yes. Come on! So we might be taking this on the road next week. Yeah. Or at least I might be there, just in the background of his afternoon show, eating.
Yeah. It's going to be class.
Oh, sorry, lads. I'll say to the boss, I have to go and take videos.
Very important.
Have a good weekend. Enjoy.
Bye.
Say something special.
Something special.
Good luck.